We are live from the College Football Playoff Cotton Bowl Media Center. I am James Yoder. This is Tom Downey. You are watching College Football Now. Tom, we are turning the page to 2019 now.
Yes.
Let's take a look at our top 15. This is going to be a deep Heisman race next year. Top 15 candidates for the Heisman Trophy in 2019, Tom. And there was some debate on this, but as we get closer to the top, it becomes less debate. But certainly a lot of players who are going to be names on everyone's radar going into next season. So take it away with number 15.
All right, Adrian Martinez, a dark horse candidate here, James. He'll get credit if Nebraska surprises, ends up being a top 15 program there, or top 25 program. Has shown the flashes. I like Scott Frost. I think it's probably maybe more of a year away in the end for Adrian Martinez, but I think he makes sense as a potential candidate.
It makes sense because of the head coach, Tom, what he did as a true freshman. Number 14 is the man we will see tomorrow in the College Football Playoff, Tom. Ian Book coming back next season. Only 9 starts under his belt. 8 starts, 9 starts, whatever it is under him. Changed the Notre Dame offense. Was a Heisman Trophy candidate this year, but I think people are going to expect bigger stats out of him. Didn't have the 20 or 35 or so touchdowns next year. Ian Book, though, number 14 at Notre Dame at quarterback. They start off the year 9-0, 10-0, Tom, like some expect him to next year. He'll be right in the thick of things.
The best offensive player at a high-profile school often gets Heisman buzz, and that could be the case here at number 13 with J.T. Daniels. He was not good this year. Let's not kid ourselves. He did not fare well in what in reality was his senior year of high school.
Exactly,
so maybe it makes some sense there. He's still young. There's plenty of talent there. And now he's got Cliff Kingsbury as his OC. Dark horse option.
Tom, have you seen that thing that went viral about the 19-year-old's mugshot that went viral because he looks like he's about 65 years old? That's kind of what J.T. Daniels looks like right here. He looks like he's like a 38-year-old man right there. But
Greg Oden syndrome?
Yes. Nevertheless, Tom, if he gets his completion percentage up under Cliff Kingsbury, has a lot of young wide receivers. They could have a wide receiver core next year of all sophomores and true freshmen, but 2,600 yards, 14 touchdowns. If he bumps those numbers up to 25, 30 touchdowns and get those interceptions down a little bit, he will definitely be a Heisman Trophy candidate.
And if USC has a good season,
they go 9-3 or better. So J.T. Daniels is our number 14 player. Let's take a look at this man, Tom. De'Aaron King. Now, I like him a lot. I'm sorry, that was 13. 12, but De'Aaron King.
He's a blast to watch.
What do you like about this guy?
He's so dynamic. He brings you down on the ground and through the air. And we're going to have at least one group of 5 guy in here for you guys. So here's, I think, your best bet, De'Aaron King. The big thing for any group of 5 candidate, you got to win all your games.
Yep.
And you got to put up unreal numbers.
Sure. And
otherwise, you're just not going to win.
And Houston, they're losing their offensive coordinator, so that'll be a blow to him. They've got an offensive-minded head coach, but the interesting part about him, Tom, is he was a wide receiver. He's got 59 catches in his career. His first 3 years there, got some action, and 20-plus receptions as I guess a redshirt freshman and a redshirt sophomore. Got the full starting role now as the quarterback. Had an awesome year, Tom. 50 touchdowns accounted for. But this next one is one people would be like, who?
Yeah.
Austin Kendall, when we put him in there at number 11, Tom, just outside the top 10 who are all established guys. Why do we put Austin Kendall, Oklahoma, at number 11?
Well, how can we not leave out the guy that's replacing 2 previous Heisman winners? Oklahoma has had back-to-back winners at quarterback. It would feel unfair to leave out the assumed starter next year unless it's Spencer Rattler.
And 4 straight years, the Oklahoma starting quarterback has been the top 4 in the Heisman, basically kind of mirroring Lincoln Riley's tenure as offensive coordinator and head coach there, Tom. But we could have just left that blank and said Oklahoma QB to be determined, and like TBD. A picture of a black silhouette or whatever it is over top of it. But that is what it is. But who will win the Heisman Trophy 2019, Tom? We're about to break into the top 10. Before we do, I want to know from you, who do you got winning the 2019
I'm going to put my money
Trophy?
On Tua, like I did this year, and thought I was going to win.
I think you could be there, Tom. I'm going to go a little bit off the radar with you. I'm actually going to go with Trevor Lawrence there at Clemson. So we'll get to those guys in a little bit. Tom, tell us about BetDSI, what you can do with them. Live 120 is the promo code. What do you got going on with BetDSI?
Oh, I got all kinds of bets on there. I got college football bets. I got NFL bets. I even put a couple NBA bets down this week, James. And you lost all your money betting on Shea Patterson win the Heisman Trophy. All your bonus money, though.
I put some money on Shea Patterson last year on this time when the Heisman Trophy, whenever they put those first
and you kept
odds
doubling
up
down.
there. Kept doubling down, didn't win a time, but I've got money on Oklahoma. I've got money on Notre Dame. You win betting unders, Tom, and you win betting in underdogs in sports betting for sure. But it's been such a great football season for me. I've followed the NFL a lot more than I ever had, picking 5-6 games a week there. So BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet, promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus, the deposit bonus of the year. Let's get into the top 10. Tom Downey, take it away at number 10.
Shea Patterson. Now look, he's going back to Michigan. Michigan has not really let him air it out the way a lot of these other teams have. He has the team hype needed. Michigan is the brand name there. The key there for Michigan is that they actually have to let him air it out. Otherwise, He's not going to put up the numbers needed, James.
Tom, I was looking when we put this together, pulling some stats, looking at Shea Patterson. I tweeted this out at James T. Yoder on Twitter. Follow me. He only had 290-some yard passing attempts time, 200 less than his rival Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State, and it was 70, 80, 100 yard passing attempts less. So they certainly need to air it out next year with Shea Patterson. But if Michigan is the season they had like they did this year, and Shea Patterson is able to throw the ball more with a good wide receiving core next year, I think this makes sense for him to be in the top 10, which he was this year. You know, he was in the top 10 for most of the second half of the season for a lot of the Heisman list, and of course, Betty Sai as well.
He had 100 less passing attempts than our number 9 man, Sam Ehlinger, who has shown growth at Texas. He's had some issues throughout his career because he's raw and all that. He was overshadowed by other Big 12 quarterbacks in the past, but it's his conference next year.
Sure.
Murray's gone. Will Greer's gone. He's the next man up.
He'll be the next one up. And the next man up at Georgia this year, Tom, was DeAndre Swift. Made Georgia fans kind of forget about their 2 NFL-level running backs. He came in and made a big-time impact. And with Georgia returning their starting quarterback next year, their starting running back, all kinds of talent on what will be a top 5 team. DeAndre Swift may be underrated, Tom, because if you know, we look back when I first put this list together, we kind of went back and forth. I had DeAndre Swift and tied my top 5. You
were a madman.
Yeah, you kind of talk me off the ledge or whatever it is, so I'll be back into reality. But DeAndre Swift is our number 8. How about number 7, Tom?
My favorite guy to watch.
Broke on the scene as a true freshman, a 5-star who chose Purdue, and he proved that it was the right decision. A Heisman Trophy, a wide receiver's not won the Heisman, Tom, in almost 30 years, back in 1991 with Desmond Howard. But this is I think, like you said, he's the most exciting player to watch in college football, just because when he gets the ball in his hands, whether it's as a return man, wide receiver, as a running back, he makes plays. He kind of came on the scene against Ohio State when he made their defense look absolutely foolish. Almost 1,200 yards, 100 catches as a true freshman, Tom. Rondale Moore is our number 7 in our Heisman Trophy list. How about number 6, a guy who kind of made a splash in the scene this year?
Travis Etienne, who put up some great numbers despite many of those games being over. A lot of touchdowns this year. The big issue for Etienne, James, is that as good as he is, isn't Trevor Lawrence going to eat into his numbers?
That's really what it is, Tom. And so the thing about Etienne that you like is that clearly his coaching staff likes to give him the ball inside the 10.
For good reason.
He had plenty of games this year, at least several of them, handful. We had 60 yards, 50 yards, but 3 touchdowns. So Travis Etienne will be a big-time factor in the Heisman Trophy race next season. Let's get into the top 5, Tom. A guy we didn't expect to be in there, but it is Justin Herbert.
He's passed on the NFL. He's going to come back to Oregon. He was the too popular underdog pick, one of those where everyone picks him and he's no longer the underdog. The issue for Herbert is he has to be a better quarterback, plain and simple, and Oregon has to actually win more games than what happened last year. Herbert didn't show the best accuracy, although the Oregon receivers are not very good right now. But plenty of touchdowns, some good yardage there. He needs to make a CFP run if he's going to have a chance at the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, they're going to have to be 11-1 or better, win the conference, time for him to win the Heisman. Oregon quarterback is not going to get enough publicity. Marcus Mariota had to put up legendary numbers, go to the national championship game to get that Heisman Trophy. Justin Herbert is our number 5. Let's get into the top 4, Tom. How about Jake Fromm?
Love him.
Love him. Started as a true freshman, took the job away from Jacob Eason, who I actually considered putting on this list. Great hair for Jake Fromm. Number 4 in our college football 2019 Heisman Trophy candidates, Tom. He doesn't put up the huge numbers. That's the biggest challenge. He is not going to put up the numbers that Trevor Lawrence or potentially Tua if they put him on the field longer, and they probably definitely will if Jalen Hurts leaves Alabama. Tua will be on the field potentially longer next year.
Not that style of offense.
Yeah, given that he has been a quarterback of a team that's basically been in the top 5 for 2 years straight. He has the name recognition that start the year he is going to be on everyone's list, and ours included here at number 4. If Georgia goes 12-0, if they make the playoff, if they beat Alabama in the SEC championship game, I think he has an opportunity to win this award, steal it away from his fellow SEC quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. So Jake Fromm from Georgia, 3rd year starting, is our number 4. Take it to the number 3, Tom, the forgotten man in the Heisman race.
The world's quietest 2,000-yard rushing season this year by Jonathan Taylor, passed that in the bowl game last night, actually. Has been a top 10 Heisman voter the past 2 years. He's on pace to break all of the CFB rushing records. He has looked absolutely incredible. Ran for 2,194 yards, James. But the big thing is,
did you have 200 yards last night?
Yeah, he hit over 100. The big issue for Taylor is that he has to they have to win games. They didn't win games this year. He put up Heisman caliber numbers. But when you lose a bunch of games, it doesn't end up mattering in the end. That's
Tom,
the problem there.
Top 300 carries. They give him the ball a ton, right? So
Yeah,
I mean, he's getting a ton of carries, Tom. More than 28 games, 16 touchdowns. If he puts up these numbers for a third year in a row, Tom, it is historic. It is legendary. It has never been seen before in college football. We're going to show this graphic here in a moment, but I want to give you just a little insight into how legendary Jonathan Taylor is, Tom. He has a chance to go into his senior year if he stays in 2020 within striking distance of breaking the game before they even hit breaking the all-time rushing record before they even hit the month of September with back-to-back averaging over 2,000 yards in 2 seasons. Tom, he's over 4,000 yards in his career. He's a true sophomore. He should be in the top 5 by the end of his true junior year and have a chance halfway through his senior year to crush Ron Dayne's all-time rushing record.
And these yards do include bowl games as well. That's why Ron Dayne, the rightful number 1, not Donnell Pumphrey.
Tom, the guy we'll see tomorrow, Trevor Lawrence, not a name that the average college football fan maybe knows and has maybe seen a ton of times, but if you look at what he did this year as a true freshman, unseated a playoff quarterback there at Clemson and led them to the playoff undefeated season, looked dominant in doing it. 65% completion percentage this year, Tom, 2,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, and as a true freshman, only 4 interceptions. Trevor Lawrence is our number 2 on the 2019 way too early preseason Heisman Trophy list. I am James Yoder, Tom Downey. We are at the College Football Media Day here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas before tomorrow's Clemson and Notre Dame matchup. Tom, before we get to number 1, we all know who it is, I think.
Yeah.
Who you got winning the Heisman Trophy winner? Let's take it one more time for the people.
It's going to be number 1, so I'm not going to spoil it. How about
I've got Trevor Lawrence as mine, so I'm taking number 2, Tom. You're taking this man, the number 1 candidate for next year's Heisman Trophy race.
Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa, who has looked fantastic, and I thought had it wrapped up at one point this year, and then the injury, the SEC title game, it all kind of slipped away there. He is going to be your heavy favorite entering the year. The issue was, for this year at least, the lack of numbers hurt him. Will that change next year, though?
Yeah.
Because Bama, in theory, is going to blow everybody out again.
And their offense, Tom, next year should be even better than this year at Alabama. It really should. They've got Jerry Jeudy, they've got Najee Harris, more wide receivers and running backs and offensive linemen coming in to play along with Tua. But he will be back-to-back years the most prohibitive preseason favorite. He was the favorite coming into this year, Tom. They played one half of football, basically, but people saw what they saw with him. So Tua Tagovailoa leads number 1 candidate, our way too early 2019 Heisman Trophy list.